months, weeks, and days leading up to the events of September 11, 2001, there seemed to be an atypical number of aviation anomalies. Now, an aviation anomaly is simply a broad term to describe any unusual or unexplained event involving aircraft. Now, for most of us, when we look up at the sky, we see the wide-open expanse of space and stars reaching forever to the horizon. But in truth, the airspace of America's northeastern states is a highly congested aviation superhighway composed of a labyrinth of vector airways, air traffic control zones, restricted flight space, and even no-fly zones. Now, some believe that the frequency of these pre-9/11 aviation anomalies desensitized air traffic controllers in the Northeast, resulting in delays on 9/11 in notifying military authorities to the danger of multiple hijacked aircraft. Still, some others offer that some of these anomalies may have been part of a broader conspiracy and that they were designed to see who was watching and how fast they'd react. Well, if as Shakespeare noted that the past is prologue, then we should be watching the skies if we want to be on guard for the next 9/11. Now, on the evening of May 28, 2007, Memorial Day, a man near Newcastle, Delaware, was relaxing in his backyard, watching a nearly full moon rise from the eastern horizon. Being an amateur videographer, he decided to shoot some pictures of the moon. At approximately 21:30 hours Eastern Daylight Time, his camera captured this image. The witness reported being a little startled by the sight of something streaking across in front of the moon, and he instantly looked up from the small LCD screen of his camera and gazed at the horizon and saw nothing. A subsequent examination of the video clearly revealed that all the man had seen was quite obviously a large aircraft, most likely a Boeing 757 passing in front of the moon. Based on geometric examination, it was determined that the aircraft was approximately 12 to 14 miles east of the witness's location and at an altitude of approximately 15,000 feet over the small town of Woodstown, New Jersey. Now, there's nothing unusual about a jet aircraft at that altitude over Woodstown, New Jersey. In fact, quite the opposite. Woodstown, you see, is home to one of the hundreds of navigational radio beacons across America that are used for planes to navigate, and still used a lot today, even despite GPS. Now, because of its proximity to New York, the Woodstown Vortac is often used as a holding area for jets approaching New York City airspace. According to the witness, on a clear night, the lights of the numerous aircraft flying holding patterns over Woodstown resembles a convention of high-altitude fireflies. So what's the anomaly here? Well, it's not what you're seeing, but it's what you're not. Look again. There are apparently no navigational lights visible on this aircraft. Now, when enlarged, the detail of the video is of such clarity that you can actually see the visible optical distortion of the moon caused by the engine exhaust, or the heat from the exhaust, but apparently no lighting. Now let's fast forward exactly 2 weeks and approximately 45 miles south-southwest of Woodstown to Dover Air Force Base in Dover, Delaware. At approximately 08:30 hours on the morning of June 11, 2007, the control tower at Dover received a distress call from a pilot who said he was in trouble and going down near a large body of water. The controllers at Dover were stymied by the fact that there were no images of any aircraft on their radar screens at the time, and there had been none in the minutes preceding that call. A subsequent search by civilian authorities and the Civil Air Patrol turned up absolutely nothing. In the days that followed, there have been no reports of missing aircraft that might have been in the area at that time. Strangely, the search for the supposedly downed aircraft was focused on streams and lakes around Dover, virtually all of which you could toss a rock across. The only large body of water near Dover, Delaware, is obviously the Delaware Bay. Now, what could these two anomalies possibly mean? Well, perhaps nothing. But sometimes when you're trying to connect the dots, you know the best approach is to do just that, just simply connect the damn dots. Well, if you flew a straight-line course from Woodstown, New Jersey to Dover, Delaware, there wouldn't be a lot to see, mostly cornfields and marshes in the wide-open waters of the Delaware Bay. But if you were to glance out your right window at just about the midpoint of your flight, you'd be looking at a place called Artificial Island, New Jersey. And its name comes from the fact that it was built up from years of dredge spoils dumped there from decades of keeping the Delaware River deep enough to accommodate the large ships going and coming to the Philadelphia docks and the Philadelphia Naval Yard. Today, Artificial Island is remarkable for a single distinction. Artificial Island, New Jersey is the home of not one, not two, but 3 operating nuclear power plants. A large jet in busy northeast airspace on a busy air travel night with no apparent lighting. A small plane near a major military installation, invisible to radar. Between the two, the most concentrated cluster of nuclear power reactors on the East Coast. Coincidence? Well, let's sure as hell hope so.